Hello viewers, this Too Fast here. In today's video, I'll show you this brand new 3-channel dashcam from the company GNET. Now GNET is a dashcam company based out of South Korea, and their dashcams have all the important features that you want to protect your vehicle. This one here is the new G-ON3. It's a 3-channel dashcam, so it has a front-facing camera, rear-facing camera, and an in-cabin camera. The front camera has a resolution of 2K Quad HD, and the rear camera and the in-cabin camera records in Full HD 1080p. This dashcam also comes with a hardwire kit, so after you install it, it'll record normal video while you're driving and switch to parking mode recording when you park the vehicle. There's also a mobile app you can use to connect to the dashcam, and with it you can view the recorded videos and also download it to your phone. There are lots to cover in this video. As I mentioned, this dashcam is packed with a lot of features. So this review will be broken into 2 parts. In this first video, I'll show you all the features on this dashcam, how to wire everything up including installing the hardwire kit, and also how to install the app and connect to the dashcam. In the second video, I'll go into more details about the parking mode recording, and also we'll check out the daytime and nighttime recording for all 3 cameras. So let's get started. Here's a look at the box the G-ON3 dashcam comes in. This dashcam is designed and manufactured in South Korea. Looking at the back of the box, it tells you the interior camera has a wide viewing angle of 180 degrees. This is a 3-channel camera. The front camera has Quad HD resolution, and the interior and rear camera has Full HD resolution. It features SD lock for memory protection, cloud system, and the cameras use Sony Starvis image sensor for excellent picture quality. Here's a look at everything that comes with this dashcam. Let me go over what's included. This is the interior camera cable, rear camera cable, user manual, the G-ON3 dash camera, security cover, hardwire kit for powering the dashcam, GPS antenna, rear camera, windshield mount for the interior camera, security lock cable, additional double-sided tape, and a tool and screw for the security cover. Let's have a closer look at this dashcam. Now on the left side, there's a front-facing camera. As I mentioned, this camera records in 2K Quad HD resolution, and this camera uses a Sony IMX335 Starvis image sensor. This camera also features HDR or high dynamic range, and with it, it allows for proper exposure in any lighting conditions. This camera lens you see here is a wide-angle 140 degree lens. Now you can adjust the angle of the camera by rotating it up and down. Looking on this side, there's a GPS LED indicator, and right here is a record LED indicator. Over here is a power button. Next to it is a Wi-Fi button. Looking on this side, over here is a DC input port. This is where you connect the hardwire kit. Over here is a camera 2 input port. This is where you connect the in-cabin camera. Next to it is a camera 1 input port, and you connect the rear camera to this. Right here is a GPS port, and the last one here is the OBD2 port. Looking on this side, there's a windshield mount with a double-sided tape. Now after you install this onto the windshield, you can slide the dashcam off by sliding it to the right. On this side, there's a microSD memory card slot. Now this dashcam comes with a 128GB memory card, and that's very nice because you don't have to buy your own memory card. Next to it is a Wi-Fi dongle. Now the front side of the dashcam is right over here, and there's an LED indicator here, and this will flash when it's recording. Now as for powering the dashcam, this dashcam does not come with a cigarette lighter power cable. Instead it comes with a hardwire kit which you have to install. Now the benefit of installing a hardwire kit is it'll give you parking mode recording when the vehicle is parked. Looking at this cable, on this end of the cable you have this connector that you plug into the DC input port of the dashcam. On the other end of the cable, there are 3 wires. The black wire you need to connect to chassis ground. The yellow wire you need to connect to constant 12 volt in the fuse box. And the red wire you connect this to ignition 12 volt in the fuse box. So connect the power cable to the DC input port on the dashcam. Now with the design of this dashcam, they've included a tamper-proof cover. And this is optional if you want to install this, but this cover will prevent someone from disconnecting the power cable and also removing the microSD memory card. To install it, all you have to do is slide this onto the top like this and push it all the way down. Next, using the included tool and screw, install the screw right here. And on top of all this, they've also included a security steel cable. If you want to install this, feed this through the hole right here. Bend this cable, and then feed it into this hole and push the wire through. And with this design, you don't have to worry about someone disconnecting the power to the dash cam or taking the memory card out. Now, one thing to keep in mind is with a metal cable, once you push it through all the way, you will not be able to pull it out. To open it up, you will have to get a cutter and cut the cable. To remove this cover, first remove that screw, then push on this, and it'll come out. Here's a look at the rear camera. The resolution on this camera is Full HD 1920 by 1080p. It uses a Sony IMX323 Exmor CMOS sensor, and the lens you see here is a wide angle 140 degrees. To install this is very simple. Use a double-sided tape to stick this onto the back window, and you can adjust the angle by rotating the camera. And over here is an LED indicator. And on this side, you connect the rear camera cable to this connector. Here's a look at the interior in-cabin camera. Now this camera you see here records in Full HD 1920 by 1080. The viewing angle of this camera is a very wide 180 degrees. And to help illuminate the inside of the vehicle at night, there are 8 infrared LEDs around the camera. On this side here, there's a connector here you'll use to connect this camera to the dash cam. And to install this camera, it comes with a windshield mount. Attach it to the top of this camera, and then install this thumb screw. So to connect the rear camera, take this long cable, connect this end with a yellow label, input, plug the other end of the cable to the rear camera. For the interior camera, take the shorter cable, plug the end with a yellow label to camera 2 input, and then connect the other end of the cable to the interior camera. The last thing you need to connect is a GPS antenna, and this will plug into the GPS port. So here are all the connections you need to make on this dash cam: GPS antenna, rear camera, interior camera, and the power cable. So let's power on the dash cam.
Start recording.
Once it's powered on, the dash cam will begin recording automatically. So while you're driving in the vehicle, the image from all 3 cameras are recorded onto the microSD memory card. If you want to use your mobile phone to connect to the dash cam, you first need to install the GNET app. In the Google Play Store, search for the app GNET, install it. Now open the app. Next, press the Wi-Fi button on the dash cam to begin registration.
Standby mode for the registration.
Select the device registration button right here. So here I found the G-ON3 dash cam. Press connection.
Complete the registration. Users connected.
Once you hear users connected, that tells you the dash cam is paired with the app. To look at the real-time live video, select this real-time video button. Right now you're looking at the live view of the front-facing camera. To toggle to the other cameras, press the inner camera button right here at the bottom. Right now you're looking at the rear camera. Press the button once more. Now you're looking at the in-cabin camera. Press it once again to go back to the front camera. Press the home button at the bottom. Now select settings at the bottom here.
User access disabled.
Here you can access all the settings for the dash cam. First one is camera. For the front camera, the resolution is 1440p Quad HD. You can change the brightness, change FPS in normal recording, FPS for event recording, and turn on and off the night vision. Next section is for the inside camera. Resolution is 1080p, Full HD. You can also change the brightness, FPS for the normal recording, FPS for event recording, and enable or disable the mirroring of the image. And the last section is for the rear camera. Resolution is 1080p, Full HD, and you can change the settings here. When you're done, go back. Next menu item, voltage management. Now by default, the low battery protection is enabled. and the dash cam will power off when it reaches 12 volt or 24 volt. If you want to change the setting, select this. And here are the different battery protection cutoff voltage setting. So while the dash cam is operating in parking mode and using the car battery power, as the battery drains, the dash cam will automatically shut off once it reaches this cutoff voltage. You can also set a timer for auto turn off and enable or disable the high temperature shutdown. Let's go back. ADAS. Now by default, all the driving alert functions are turned off. If you want, you can enable all of them by selecting the ADAS function. Or if you want, you can individually turn on and off each alert system. So here you have the lane departure warning system, front vehicle start alarm, and the forward collision warning. With these alert systems, the dashcam will use the AI built into the front camera to give you different alerts, like when you're drifting onto another lane, or if you're at a stop and the car in front of you start moving, or if you're not braking fast enough and you might hit the car in front of you. You can also set the sensitivity of these alerts. Let's go back. Sound. Here's a volume control. By default, it's set to basic. You can set it for low or high or basic. You can turn on and off the voice guidance and turn on and off the audio recording. So this will turn on and off the microphone on the dashcam. Events. Recording time by default is 20 seconds. You can set it from 20 seconds to 30 seconds. Parking event recording is enabled. Event buzzer is enabled. Impact recording is also enabled. And the motion detection is disabled by default. If you want, you can turn it on. You can also set the sensitivity of the parking recording and the impact recording. To test this, I'll turn on the motion detection. Next is time. You can enable or disable the daylight savings time. And here you can set the GMT time. Memory. By default, the overwrite is enabled, so when the memory card is full, it will automatically overwrite the oldest file with new recordings. With the memory capacity, I recommend you just leave it alone. With this, the memory card will have a predefined memory size for normal video recording and event recording. If you want to format the memory card, you can select this option. Information. Here you can see the model number of the dashcam and the firmware version. Now if you want to set a nickname, select this option. Now you can set up a nickname for this dashcam. Security LED by default is on. Now this refers to the LED indicator on the front of the dashcam. So when you're looking at the dashcam from the outside of the vehicle, you see the LED indicator flash when it's recording. Last item is cloud. Now the cloud feature by default is off. You can enable it if you have a cellular hotspot or 4G LTE module that the dashcam can connect to, and with this you can use a GNET with cloud system. So these are all the settings on this dashcam. Let's go back. If you make any changes, it'll ask you if you want to save it. The dashcam will reboot after the settings change.
Start recording.
And when you hear the start recording voice prompt, that tells you the dashcam is powered on. You can reconnect to the dashcam by pressing the connection button right here.
Users connected.
So let's take this to the vehicle. I'll show you how to install this dashcam, and we'll also take a look at the recorded video both daytime and nighttime. To install the dashcam, remove the backing on double-sided tape and then stick this directly onto the windshield. Now make sure the connectors are facing up. Next, connect the power cable, the in-cabin camera cable, rear camera cable, and the GPS antenna. With the rear camera cable and the power cable, I'll run this up to the headliner and over to the A-pillar on the driver's side. With the GPS antenna cable, I'll run this up to the headliner and over to the passenger side. To install the in-cabin camera, remove the backing on a double-sided tape and then stick this onto the windshield. Now you want to make sure the camera is facing into the cabin. Connect the in-cabin camera cable to the camera. Now install this onto the windshield. You can loosen it up and adjust the angle. Now with this cable, you can route this around the right side. With the GPS antenna, use a double-sided tape and then stick this into the corner of the windshield. Now I'll run the other two cables over to the A-pillar on the driver's side. Run the rear camera cable along the side all the way to the back of the vehicle. Here I have the rear camera cable run to the back. Next, tuck this cable behind this weather stripping to the middle of the vehicle. To install the rear camera, use a double-sided tape and stick this directly onto the back window. Connect the rear camera cable to the rear camera. Now stick the camera onto the back window. Run the power cable along the side down here. The power cable will go to the fuse box. Open the fuse box cover. Bring the 3 wires into the fuse box. To find out which fuse you can use for ignition 12 volt and constant 12 volt, you should look at the cover of your fuse box. It will identify what components are for each fuse. So for example, on this vehicle, the power socket accessory 1 is ignition 12 volt, and then the electrical parts bat 2 is constant 12 volt. You should also verify it with a multimeter. So for example, if I test the 10 amp fuse, I have 12 volt. To properly tap a wire into your factory fuse box, you should be using these type of fuse taps. With this, it allows you to keep your existing fuse in the circuit and also add an additional circuit for your accessory. When you remove the factory fuse from this location, you want to take that fuse and plug it into the bottom spot right here, and then we'll plug this fuse tap into the fuse box. The yellow wire goes to constant 12 volt, so I'll crimp this end to my fuse tap. Now I'm going to remove this and then plug the original fuse into this bottom slot. Now before you plug the fuse tap into the fuse box, you want to take your multimeter and test which side the voltage is coming in on. So on the right side I have 12 volt, on the left side 0 volt. That tells me voltage is coming in on the right side, it goes through the fuse and it goes out on the left side. So on this vehicle I'll need to plug this fuse tap in this direction. Voltage is going to come in on the right side, go through the fuse, and go out on the left side. For the red wire that goes to ignition 12 volt, same thing, crimp this end to the fuse tap. Remove that 20 amp fuse. Get your multimeter, test which side is coming in on. Once you know which way it needs to go ahead and plug the fuse tap into the fuse panel. And here's a look at the fuse box with the 2 fuse taps installed. Put the cover back on. Now the last connection you need to make is this ground wire. It already has a ring terminal at the end. I'll connect this to a bolt that's right behind the hood release. Start the car up.
Start recording. GPS connected.
The dash cam will power on and begin recording automatically. Now keep in mind all 3 cameras are recording simultaneously right now. Now connect to the dash cam using a GNET app. Select connection.
Users connected.
Let's take a look at the camera live view. Select real-time video. And right now you're looking at the front camera. Press the bottom icon for inner camera. There's a rear camera view. Press the camera button again. And now you're looking at the in-cabin camera. Press it again to go back to the front camera view. Now if you're installing this for the first time, use this live view to help adjust the camera angle. When you're done, you can go back and exit. So at this time, the G-ON3 dash cam is installed and everything's working. In the next video, I'll go over how you can use a GNET app to play back the recorded video and also download the video directly from the dash cam. I'll also go over how the parking mode recording work and show you examples of the parking mode recording. We'll also take a look at the daytime and nighttime recording of all 3 cameras. So stay tuned for that video. Now if you want to pick up this GNET G-ON3 dashcam, at the time of this review, it retails for $438. Use the link in the description to get 5% off discount on your purchase. Thank you for watching, and make sure you check out part 2 of this review. Thank you for watching this video. To support this channel, remember to click on thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified of new videos.